Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Optic Scumpy here today, joined by my special guest, Formal. We already recorded this video.
Can we talk about this for a second?
The fucking camera messed up.
We just recorded a long video.
Like 15 minutes.
Yeah, there was a kissing scene in it with
a very sensual kissing scene.
Yeah, and because of Hitch, so everyone go tweet at Hitch and tell him how bad he just messed this whole thing up.
He's behind the camera right now, so
yeah,
good shit, Hitch.
And they recorded 39 seconds.
Way to go, Davis.
10-minute video.
Leave him alone. He hasn't slept yet.
Yeah, he was bad.
If you haven't seen Vision today, go check it out. I'm sure it'll be up whenever this video goes up. But this is my post-event vlog for ESWC. First of all, we're going to talk about the city, what it was like, you know, the event, not the games yet, but the event, the city, scheduling, like whatever, anything outside the game.
Okay.
That you want to talk about.
First of all, it needs to be colder. It was so hot. Literally everywhere we went, not just the venue, our hotel room, the lobby, like everywhere that we were just hanging out, it was just like we were just sweaty the whole time. You know what I'm talking about? Like
absolute man must.
Yeah,
the whole time.
It smelled like musk just straight up the whole weekend. Like gross.
We had to open our windows because the hotel didn't believe in air conditioning for some reason. God. So like our hotel room was probably on average 80 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the whole weekend. Like and this is at night, during the day. Like, all the time.
We'd both wake up, like, okay, so first of all, we would wake up every day, like, what, 9 a.m.? We'd wake up early, because we were on, like, a really good sleep schedule the whole weekend. But we'd wake up, like, all hot, we'd have bug bites, like, and we're just like, what the hell? And we would wake up feeling, like, sick, because we're breathing in, like, all that dry air the whole night. And it was just, like, it's like the worst start to a day when you're just, like, God damn it.
It was
just all
so
sad,
unbearably hot everywhere.
It was like waking up from, like, a bad nap every single time.
Like, looking at him after Sunday's matches, he was just, like, drenched. And this was after we got back to the hotel. So this was, like, an hour after our matches, and we did interviews and press and stuff and took pictures with the trophy. And we got back, and he was still sweating. Because that main stage was hot.
Oh, dude. Like, he wanted to ravage me. It was disgusting.
I wouldn't go that far, but the main stage was hot. It was like 100 degrees up there, no joke, with those lights, and there were so many people there inside the venue. It was just so hot.
You just felt sticky the whole time.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But another thing I want to talk about was the scheduling.
Oh, it was terrible.
Could have been a little bit better.
I'll be the first to say it. I was pretty pissed off with the scheduling.
Yeah, could have been a little bit better, because what was happening, they were telling us, like, yo, you guys are playing at 2 p.m., so we were like, okay, we'll be ready at 2 p.m., and then it's 3:30 all of a sudden, and then they finally come up and they just like grab us. They're like, "You guys ready?"
Yeah, and I'm like, just like we're like, okay, as pro players, you know when you're playing a match, so you're getting like mentally prepared for a match. And when someone throws that kind of like zen off before you play like a really important match, it just kind of like messes with your head. You're just like, oh well, I wasn't really ready for this, but I guess I have to play. So that was one pretty big problem. Like usually, like tournaments we go to are really good with scheduling. Like if they say you're playing at a time, you're playing at that time. But
and that's like just weird. The Activision.
Okay, but I will say this though: the controllers were messing up, and that's what pushed the scheduling like off and like made it all weird. So I can't really say I blame ESWC for that, but it was really annoying to deal with in general. So
yeah, scheduling was a little annoying, but other than that, Paris, great city, great people, great food. Yeah. It was just a little bit hot.
Great women.
Just a little bit hot. It's a little hot.
Okay.
All right, so that's outside the game. What would you give it? 8 to 10. The event itself.
The event or the trip?
We'll do trip overall.
The trip overall, I'll give it a 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even with winning?
I'll give it a 6. Yeah.
I'll probably give it like a solid 8.
Waking up every day.
Just because we won though.
Yeah. Okay. If we didn't win, I'd give it about a 3.
Yeah. So I would give it like an 8.
Yeah. I honestly, man, like I went last year and it was really fun. This year was just different, man.
I don't know if it was because there were more teams or more issues with the controllers.
There was just too much time where I felt like uncomfortable. That's the word I can describe it with. It was just uncomfortable the majority of my time there.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
No, yeah, it actually like it really was. Like most of the time there it was uncomfortable as all hell.
Yeah.
But like I said, we won, so I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
All right, moving on into the matches. You guys know the deal. Start with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's start with Friday. First match, Supremacy.
Okay. To be honest,
French team.
We steamrolled Supremacy pretty bad. Like
the first time?
Yeah, the first time we played them, it was pretty bad. And we were just like, okay, that was easy. Let's get ready for our Millennium match. Then we played, you don't really have anything to say about that, right?
What, Supremacy?
Supremacy, it was easy.
Nah, yeah.
Okay.
The first time we played them, it was easy.
It's pretty easy. Second time we played them, it was hard. But anyway, so we were getting ready to play Millennium. The original, so here's the scheduling thing, right? So they told us to play Millennium at 7 p.m. That's what we were ready for the whole night. We didn't end up playing until like 10:30, and it's hard to not sound like I'm saying excuses, but if you are a competitor, you've been to events, you'll understand my side of this. If you haven't, then you're just going to think of excuses, so I don't blame you. Anyways, so we played our match at like 10 p.m. It was just rough on all of us. Damon flew in that morning at he got in at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
After flying from the
and
U.S.
This was after Damon went to the airport with us on Wednesday. Or was it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
We went to the airport on Tuesday night to find out that Damon couldn't fly with us. And he had to go to the Canadian Embassy to get his passport extended because his expiration date was too close to the end. Because with Paris, you have to have 3 months before the expiration to be able to go.
Yeah.
So he had to go get his passport extended.
Yeah, so then Damon flew in. We thought that Damon was going to be cranky as hell. Honestly, he was pretty chill about it. I was pretty proud of him. He was being a good sport.
No, yeah, he didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired.
Okay.
He didn't say anything.
So back to the subject. So we play Millennium at 10 p.m. and I don't think we've ever played a match that started at 10 p.m. So, and like I said, it's going to sound like an excuse, but
especially
whatever.
Paris, though.
Yeah, it's just so uncomfortable. That's what it was. It was uncomfortable playing, and when we lost, we were we were kind of pissed, but we were more pissed at the situation rather than the match. I think we played him at 7, it would have been a different match. Obviously, we played him on Sunday, and that was different. Anyways, so Friday went by, and we were all just kind of okay, whatever. Let's just look forward to Saturday where things really start to become important. Saturday night is when the matches start becoming really important.
Well, and our second pool play match.
Yeah,
if we lost that. So he's saying elimination matches are the important ones.
Exactly.
So against Millennium, we had no risk of getting eliminated in that match.
Yeah.
But then when we played Supremacy the second time, we did.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say. So, yeah, that Millennium match, man, he gave his 2 cents. I'm going to give mine. It was pretty brutal. All of us were cranky. None of us really wanted to play, it seemed like. We were out of the zone. We weren't in the element that we normally are in. You could just tell something was off. Even whenever we won first map,
yeah.
It was just it was off.
The whole vibe was just weird.
We weren't going 110% like we usually do. It was just all right, let's play this match and get through it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we win.
We were all just looking forward to sleeping, I think.
Yeah.
We were all just so tired.
It was bad, but you can't take any credit from them. They did play a good match.
They played really good. They played good.
And we just played bad.
We played bad.
Played bad.
Yeah.
So that's Friday. We won 3-0 against Supremacy and lost 1-3 against Millennium. That was our Friday. Moving on to Saturday, we play Supremacy again as our first match.
Yeah.
This was the harder time that we played them. Like we said, the first time pretty easy, but this time, first map they banned stock, fast hands, and protected stuns, and it was just so dumb. I was losing fool.
Okay, so here's the thing, right?
I was losing fool.
When we played Supremacy the first time, so say we beat Supremacy, it's weird that we played them again because that match that we beat them in didn't really matter too much. Because our map count against them didn't really help us at all. They could have beat us in 3 games, and we could have beat them in 3 games, and it would have been 3-3 map count if they threw at us on Saturday, and we would have lost. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's the Jewel. It's called a Jewel system.
Yeah, I'm just saying they got a practice match against us. You know what I mean?
Pretty
so
much,
when we steamrolled them the first time,
that's our fault because we lost to Millennium.
True, but. So because they got that practice match against us, they knew that they weren't going to play us straight up. The first time they played us straight up like it was an NA team. And then the second time they played us, they started banning all this weird stuff, and we were just okay, this is going to be chaos. And it was chaos. The first hard point was literally chaos.
We only won by 25 points.
Oh my gosh.
And the first time we played them, we won by 160 probably, 150.
Yeah.
And then the second time we played them, we won by 25.
It was pure chaos.
And then, I know you wanted to talk about this, Damon in S&D versus them versus Crimson.
Oh yeah, so here's a fun fact, right? So we played at Supremacy twice, and that means we played them in 2 S&Ds. And in 2 of those S&Ds, Damon had 30 kills total. So in 2 maps, Damon had 30 kills in S&D, which is pretty ridiculous. He had 15 kills and 15 kills. And Ian had 2 kills total. So it was 30 and then 2. So you can imagine how Damon's attitude was compared to Ian's, especially being Ian the one with 2 kills. He was freaking out.
Yeah, dude. The whole time I just remember him saying,
yelling.
"Dude, these Euros are playing like weenies, bro."
Blank.
Yeah,
blank.
not weenies. He didn't say weenies, but he was just dude, we're playing B and he's watching flank still. Oh, he was losing it.
This is mid-round and we're still playing. Ian's just raging. And I'm all right, Seth, I'm with you. Let's push.
We were all just making fun of him dude, Supremacy had your number in S&D.
They really did, though.
But yeah, we won the S&D. Damon went off, and then third map was pretty easy as well. So moving on into our second match against Infused. I think Infused was the best team we played all weekend in terms of who put up the best fight and our like when we were going 110%. Infused definitely put up like our hardest match.
Yeah, there was some pretty close games. I firmly believe we should have won map 2. The round count was 5-4. Damon heatwaved a guy, and in a 1v1. Damon heatwaved a guy in a 1v1.
This was for us to win.
Yeah, so we were 5-4, and Damon was in a 1v1. He heatwaved the guy, and the guy like hip fired and got like a lucky burst, which killed Damon, and it made it 5-5. But like that's like a 1 in like 50 chance that like this guy just randomly kills a guy that heatwaves him, you know? So it should have been a 3-0, but like I said, the maps were all so close. They really did put up a good fight.
That's what I'm saying. Infused, you guys played well.
They did.
Good games, well played to you guys.
Except for map 4, they quit.
Yeah, well, map 4, they were having controller issues apparently, and we didn't notice it until they literally left the game and came over and said, "We're having controller issues, mate."
Was that your best accent?
Yeah, but they were just like, "We're having controller issues, mate. We can't play."
All right, yeah.
That was close. But so we were up like 4-1, and there was like 4 minutes left in the second half, and I see one of them quit, and I'm just like, "What? Why did you just leave the game? Like, yo, what do we do about this?" And then 30 seconds later, he's over shaking my hand. He's like tapping me on the shoulder, and I thought it was a ref.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a ref at first.
I was like turning around like it was a ref. Like, we're gonna have to restart the map or replay the map, and it's just him. He's like, "Good game, mate. Can't do anything." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And then all the fans started booing him.
Oh, yeah,
that was pretty wild. That's
they just get knocked out and get booed.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh.
And then the fans started going, "Nah, nah, 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 nah." Oh, dude, I was like, oh.
The whole place was just, oh, dude, they were brutal to him.
It was pretty bad. But so we 3-1 Infused. Like I said, though, they're probably our hardest match across all things considered. Well. All right, moving on to Sunday. Millennium rematch.
We just wanted the revenge so bad. We went hard against Millennium.
We went dumb hard.
Yeah, so hard.
Dumb lit against Millennium.
Just so rock hard.
We wanted that revenge. So we played Millennium in Australia at the Australian Crown Invitation. And we played them on Breach Hardpoint, which just so happened to be our first map at ESWC. They put up a really strong map against us in Australia. Like, there were times in that map where I was like, if we don't turn up right now, we're going to lose this map.
They started out hot. It was like 50-0 or something.
Yeah, they started out super strong. So at ESWC, I was just like, let's go, like, right now. Don't give them any room. Let's go out and go hard as shit right off the rip. And then we went up like 80-10. And I was like, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm saying right there. But we beat them on Breach pretty convincingly. And then Hunted S&D, we beat them 6-4.
Ian's 1v2.
Ian's 1v2, yeah, that's one of the big things.
That's like what was the map.
Yeah, Ian went so big. He 1v2'd 4-4, so we went up 5-4 after that. But that 1v2 just like shifted all of the momentum that they had to us, and it put them in a bad spot because then they needed to win 2 rounds and we only needed to win 1 more. So they were just like backs against the wall, super conservative and scared, and it just ended up beating them in the end. So Ian, you made up for your 2 kills against Supremacy, buddy. Good job. Good job, man.
He 1v2'd because he had 2 kills.
That's fucked up.
Whatever.
Nah, he had
I'm
like
just kidding, Ian.
He had like
you're going to get sensitive.
He had like 8 that map. But moving on, we played them in Infection Uplink. Pretty close map. Ended up, I think it was like 7-4, but there were times where they could have tied it and we got clutch kills.
I was just hitting jumpers.
Yeah, he was hitting the jumpers that map. I think dude, my throws were bad this weekend. Moving on, we're not going to touch on that.
So next time he says something in the stream, just know that I hit every one of my throws this weekend.
My throws were bad this weekend.
You might say I don't touch the ball that much, but at least I'm hitting 100% of my throws.
I think I went 0 for 3 in throws.
Yeah.
Breach, missed 1 to win the game. Infection, I missed 2. And I don't think I picked up the ball after that because I was just
so self-conscious.
I was either dunking or I was only dunking.
You're passing.
Yeah, I wasn't throwing. But we beat them on that. Moving on to Splice. Splice beat Rise and FaZe. Splice played really good this weekend.
Okay, we gotta talk about this for a second.
Splice turned some heads this weekend.
Splice had the hardest bracket I've seen at a European event. They played all 3 NA teams.
That was like the hardest bracket you could have pulled at an NA event.
Yeah.
And it was
what the heck?
That was like the hardest bracket. Like,
and they played FaZe twice, or Rise twice.
Yeah, in pool play.
Was it FaZe twice or Rise twice? I think it was Rise twice. It was
Rise. But so like you could flip out Envy and FaZe for like the hardest bracket NA, but like that was like the hardest bracket.
And they played well. They played really well.
And I'm saying Envy and FaZe are like on the same level. I'm not saying one's better than the other.
Yeah.
So don't come at me for that. Just saying like that.
But yeah, so I think I speak for both of us when I say that we were mentally preparing to play against Rise. Like when they beat FaZe, it was like, oh damn, you know, like they got our attention. But Rise, I think we both thought Rise was going to win. And when I saw them beat Rise in the uplink, I was like, oh my gosh. And they were up 2-0 in map 4 on Stronghold CTF. They should have won that series 3-1.
They really should have, yeah. They really should have won that series 3-1. When I was watching it backstage, and I was just sitting there like, Splice, like, what are you doing? Like, you literally have this game done with. Just play defense and get your kills mid-map, and you win. Like, just pre-aim and you win. And somehow Rise brought it back and ended up winning the map 3-2, which like doesn't happen on Stronghold. So I was like, dude, Splice just choked. Like, we're gonna play Rise. Rise is gonna win map 5. We're about to play Rise in the finals. Yeah. And then Splice beat him map 5.
And Splice beat him.
So props to Splice.
Splice was pretty good S&D.
Yeah.
They didn't lose an S&D to an NA team actually. They beat Rise in the first S&D they played them on Friday. And they beat Rise in 2 S&Ds, and then they beat FaZe in 1 S&D. So they went 4-0.
And then we beat them in S&D.
And then we beat them on their best S&D. I was talking to the Splice owner after the match, and he's like one of my good friends. His name's Swizz, and he was saying that Redwood is their best S&D map, and apparently we beat them like.
It's one of our best ones though too. To be
I would say it's our best S&D.
Yeah, it's probably
but we were just going clutch, honestly, in the S&D.
Yeah, we were.
We were clutching up hella hard.
But so first map, we absolutely just manhandled them. We beat them by like 150, or we beat them by like 100. They came back a little bit.
No, Seth. Okay, it started out with Damon getting so hyped that he was just like destroying everyone. I was just like, do your thing, and then Seth was doing his thing. He had like a 9-piece hold the ranch in the like 4th hill, and I was just like, Jesus, dude, this dude's going off.
I was 27-9 at one point.
Yeah, it was getting pretty out of hand fast too. Like I was here in the crowd. I
started shooting bodies, and I never shoot bodies.
Yeah,
I don't shoot bodies, and I shot someone's body.
To be fair though, Josh was saying stuff about us before the match.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
But we beat them on that map. And then, like he said, Redwood, we beat them 6-4. We went down 2-4 and won 4 rounds straight. So that was pretty cool to see us, you know, bounce back like that in grand finals. To come back from 2-4 in grand finals it's not easy. And to win 4 rounds unanswered that's pretty impressive, especially against the team that you said hadn't lost to S&D to an NA team the whole weekend.
Yeah, they thought when I was talking to the players for Splice before they played us earlier in the weekend, they were saying that NA is just terrible at S&D. So. It was pretty cool that we beat them in it.
Yep, and then the uplink, we beat them, I think, like 10-4 or 12-4 or something. We had control the whole map.
Like 6-0, I thought.
No, they had points.
Oh, we just up by 6?
Yeah, it was like 10-4 or 12-4 or something like that. But we just had control of the map like the whole game. There was no doubt in my mind that we were going to lose. I was just watching the clock tick down, like just keep getting your kills, and we win. And we ended up winning 3-0. So good games to Splice. They played well throughout the whole weekend. I mean, that definitely turned heads.
Yeah, they did really, really well.
That's going to make North American teams, like, not scared to play European top teams.
They're not going to think they're a breeze.
Yeah, they're not going to think that they're, like, a breeze over.
They beat Rise and FaZe.
Like, Infused, Millennium, and Splice are all teams that could beat, like, pretty much any North American team, I'd say. I mean, like, if they played them at a North American tournament, I think that they could beat them. Not easily, but, like, 3-0, 3-1, like, dominate.
Yeah.
If they play well.
They honestly just came out hot, and I think people are going to give them more respect now when they play against them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so
that's
good.
Wrapping things up, I want to say thank you to ESWC. Thank you to the amazing fans. If you're watching, if you went to the event, you guys make ESWC's, ESWC. You guys literally make that tournament.
The best crowd that I've played.
You guys make that tournament worthwhile.
And I'm not knocking on other crowds because other crowds are really great. So at Anaheim, for everyone watching this video that is going to Anaheim, I want to challenge you to be better than the France crowd because that's the bar right there. That's ESWC crowd is the best I've played in front of. If Anaheim gets in front of that, man, because if you guys are getting hyped, we're getting hyped. Everyone in the venue just feeling this energy that you're just like, oh, I'm so happy I came. You know, you want to make that like spectator experience just like amazing. You want to feel like you're getting your money's worth. So
definitely,
I think the hype is definitely a big part of that.
Definitely. So bring the hype to Anaheim if you're going. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much once again for your ongoing support. And as always, this was your boy, Scump.